everyone? It is Matthew. Welcome back to a brand new video. And today I'm going to be doing my NFL playoff predictions. The regular season concluded seconds ago. We now know the full playoff bracket, so I'm going to be doing my whole entire playoff predictions all the way to Super Bowl 59. Before we get started though, comment your predictions down below. I want to see all your guys' predictions because I feel like this year is going to be the most fun to watch and hard to predict playoffs in so long. We had, 5 14-win teams. I'm pretty sure 10 or 11 of the teams won 12-plus games. This is going to be such a fun playoffs. I feel like the matchups are going to be good. So comment your predictions below. Also, before we get started, leave a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. But now, let's go ahead and get started. As you guys read by the title, I'm a Vikings fan. I'm going to try not to be biased in this. The Vikings obviously had a really good regular season. But we're going to start with their matchup as they go on the road. They won 14 games and are a wild card going against the Rams. They lost in this exact building to this exact team early in the regular season. But listen, I said I wasn't going to be biased, but I honestly feel like the Vikings win this game. I'm going to go with the Vikings to beat the Rams on the road. Now, we move to the Commanders and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This would be such a fun matchup. This may be the most entertaining matchup of Wild Card Weekend, but I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I feel like their record does not do them justice. They are a really sneaky, good team, and I'm going to go with them to win this game. Now, 7 versus 2, we have the Green Bay Packers facing off at the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles win this game. They're at home. They've been a lot better this season. The Packers have kind of struggled as of late. I'm going with them. Then we have on the AFC wild cards going to that, we have the Chargers at the Texans. I'm going to go with the Chargers. They've been really good this year. The Texans have not lived up to all the hype that was expected. I'm going with the Chargers to win on the road. Then a divisional matchup in Wild Card Weekend. We have the Ravens and the Steelers. The Steelers have not been good lately. The Ravens have Lamar Jackson. End of story. I'm going with the Ravens. And then same thing with the next matchup, Broncos and Bills. The Broncos are in the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. That's amazing. I really like what the Broncos are heading towards. But Josh Allen, they're going to win this game. I'm going with the Bills. Now, we move on to the divisional round now. We start with a Vikings versus Lions matchup. And part of me really wants to go with the Vikings. Not because they're my favorite team, but because a divisional matchup where the team is coming off winning both times, seems like they always lose in the playoffs when that happens. But I can't go against the Lions. They've been so good this year. There's a reason they won 15 games. And as much as I'd love the Vikings to win this, I'm going to go with the Lions to beat us in the divisional round. And then we have Tampa Bay versus Philly. I'm telling you this could be a sneaky win. I feel like everybody would go Philly with how good they've been. But this could be a sneaky game. But in the end, I will go with the Eagles to move on. Then we move over to the AFC divisional round. We have the Chargers versus the Chiefs. Everybody would want the Chargers to win, but being realistic, I said this almost 3 years ago that I would not bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs until I was proven otherwise. And guess what? It has not failed me one bit, and I'm definitely not doing it here. I'm going with the Chiefs to win this game. Then we have the 2 MVP frontrunners. We have the Lamar Jackson-led Ravens versus Josh Allen and the Bills. This would be such a fun matchup. And overall, I'm going to go with the Bills. I trust them a little bit more in this matchup. They've had what has probably been the best season in the Josh Allen era. And I'm going to go with the Bills to go to the AFC Championship for, I'm pretty sure, the first time in 3 years. So there we have the conference championships. It is 2 versus 1 in both. We now move on to NFC Championship, Eagles versus the Lions. And listen here, the Lions have had a historic season. They've never been in a Super Bowl, but the Eagles are so good. And this game's a toss-up one, but I'm going with my gut. I think the Lions win this game and move on to their first Super Bowl in franchise history. Then the AFC Championship. I feel like the Bills are favored in this game, but I'm going to cut it straight. Like I said earlier, I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes, especially in a matchup where the Chiefs seem to win every single playoffs. I'm going with the Chiefs to move on to the Super Bowl for what would be the 5th time in the last 6 years. I'm going with the Chiefs. And that would set up a Lions versus Chiefs Super Bowl. This would be one of the most hyped up Super Bowls ever. 2-15-2 teams. That's got to be the best record matchup in NFL history. Two polar opposite teams. The Lions had never been to a Super Bowl before this and have never really been too good up until recently versus the dynasty in the Chiefs that have been to 7 straight AFC championships, 5 out of 6 Super Bowls, looking for a three-peat, the first time ever in NFL history. And like I said, I will never bet against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I haven't done it for 3 years. But it's time to end that streak because I am going with the Detroit Lions to win Super Bowl 59 over the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I could see this game going either way, and I kind of feel dumb for doing what I said I will never do, and I haven't done it for 3 years. But I'm going with the Lions to win this game. I think this would be one of the most fun Super Bowls ever. And like I said, it's a toss-up game. But I'm going with the Lions. And as a Vikings fan, as much as I wish I could say the Vikings are there, and I know the Lions are the divisional a matchup, this would be a really cool story for the Lions. And I have nothing truly heavily against the Lions. I know they're a divisional opponent, but it would be kind of cool to see them win it after all this. But that would be such a good Super Bowl. But I'm going with the Lions over the Chiefs in the Super Bowl 59. Let me know your guys' predictions down below. That was my NFL playoff predictions. If you disagree with them, please don't get mad at me. Like I said, I feel like this year is so difficult to predict, but comment your predictions and Super Bowl 59 predictions down below in the comments. Also, leave a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 300,000 subscribers by the end of the month. Actually, you know what? We're hitting it by the end of the month. We're actually trying to hit it a week before the end of the month. So subscribe. And also, lastly, make sure you guys get the merchandise. Very first link in the description below. But that's going to be all for my NFL playoff predictions. And until next video, see ya!
Saying that it feels right.